Qatari Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdulrahman bin Jassim Al Thani said on Sunday that Israel's recent attack on Doha will not prevent Qatar, Egypt and the United States from continuing their mediation efforts to end the Gaza conflict. The Qatari Prime Minister made remarks during the closed-door preparatory meeting with foreign ministers from Arab and Islamic countries held ahead of an emergency Arab-Islamic summit scheduled for Monday to address the Israeli attack.
This Israeli aggression will not lead to anything but aborting de-escalating efforts and confirm the Israeli government's intention to reject peaceful paths to resolving the Palestinian issue and to continue defying international will and the UN Charter, as evidenced by repeated statements by Israeli officials regarding the annexation of Palestinian territories and the illusions of a greater Israel.
The foreign ministers discussed a draft statement on the last Tuesday attack by Israel on a residential building in Doha that housed several Hamas leaders. In his talks, Al Thani stressed that the region cannot achieve comprehensive peace and security unless the Palestinian people obtain their legitimate rights. Qatar's Prime Minister urged the international community to reject double standards and hold Israel accountable. All right, our correspondent Akshay Dongre is joining us. Akshay, we see that the Arab Summit will take place today to discuss mediation in Gaza. At the same time, we have the Qatari Prime Minister saying that the mediation efforts will continue irrespective of Israel's attack in Qatar. Put all this together, how do we see the Arab Summit pan out? How do we expect the day to pan out ahead?
Well, yes, absolutely. There has been a massive blow to what Qatar has been believing in as far as the entire illusion of an immunity from the conflict that has been going on in the West Asian region, and partly because there is a large U.S. military base inside Qatar. U.S. has military bases inside other major oil-producing countries as well, and the entire illusion that countries like Qatar and other countries have been living under, that because of the U.S. military base, they will have an immunity or other protection or safety from the kind of threats that persist in the region has been destroyed now with the Israeli strikes in Doha. On the Hamas leadership. Now, whether the attacks were successful, whether it has eliminated the leadership of Hamas, that's a secondary thing. But the entering of Israeli fighter jets, the bombing of Hamas leaders has clearly showed that as far as sovereignty is concerned in the region, it remains an elusive thought as of now, especially when a full-blown conflict almost is going on there for over a year. Now, the situation remains complicated. Yes, there have been attempts that were made from the Qatari soil to sort of bring up a mediation in the process. However, we have been seeing also that despite it has been a situation where Israel is supported by US, Qatar is supported by US, but they do not like each other. Now, Qatar has been hosting the Hamas leaders, Hamas leadership, especially the top ones, have been holding meetings inside Qatar. It sort of seemed like a safe sanctuary to the Hamas leadership, and that's what Israel thought as well. So that illusion of Hamas leaders has also been destroyed, and it seems that now Qatar has come to terms with reality and rather is preparing accordingly. But again, they cannot move out of the US protection because there is no other power to fill that vacuum. And if that goes, then Qatar has no other sense of security as far as the other major persisting threats in the region are concerned. Qatar is a major oil-producing country, so it will require a major power to provide its security umbrella, and at this point in time it's the US, and to replace that is going to take quite a lot of time. But the countries among the oil producing nations in the region are also they also have their massive differences, and that's the reason why no consensus has ever been brought as far as a united front is concerned. So Iran is, US doesn't like Iran, but US has bases in Qatar. When Qatar was attacked, it was also on the US bases. So it's all has gotten too complicated to sort of toe a single line, and that's the reason why Qatar is left with no other option but to continue with the mediation efforts, irrespective of how US has failed to protect its own Qatari allies in the region.
All right, Akshay, we leave it here. Thank you so much for joining in with those details.